So we should have all our parts here. So we have the ESP32, we have a button, we have a power input, and we have a roll of neopixels here. I'm using 60 per meter, which is sort of what it's designed for, but you can use denser or looser ones. Looser is going to look a little funny. Denser is going to, just be brighter, right? We got the two printed pieces, which is this screw thing here, which we'll need to do some cleanup on. And then the actual cover, which we'll have to, put all the little or the diffuser panels on. Okay, so let's start out by programming the chip here. So I'm going to plug it in. Okay, there we go. And I don't want it to go anywhere, so I'm going to put a little weight there. And we're going to go to install.wled.me. Okay, easiest way to do this. I'm using Chrome. Edge will also do this. Okay, and I'm just going to put a plain version in here. Nothing fancy. I'm not going to put a mic on this one. I can fit it, but I just don't want it. Okay, hit install. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Okay, well, I'm going to unplug it. Okay, so what do I got? 1, 3, 6, 7, and something weird. There we go. So 1, 3, oh, right on bottom there, 5. So I'm going to select that, hit connect, hit install. Hit install, and it's just going to start installing, right? So once this chip, or while this chip's installing here, going to take a second, not a big deal. Oh, some of these chips you might have to hold down boot on. We'll see. Oh, there we go. Now it's erasing. Cool. So I held boot down on that chip here, right? It's got enable and boot. And so I held down boot till it said erasing. Cool. Okay, well, while this is doing that, I need a couple cables here. So right now, I got this screw piece, right? The piece that has all the spirals on it. So make sure to clean all that out. Should look something like this when you're done, right? Everything's all open. So I'm going to have the chip mounted here. Then I'm going to have a couple short cables mounted to the LED strips. So I need to cut those out. So I'm going to take this here. I don't know, in about 3 inches or so. They're going to eventually wind up being shorter than that, but to work with it, you're going to want them about 3 inches. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So there's the data cables. Now we need power and ground going to the chip here. Okay. So that's black and red. And I don't know, those don't need to be that long either. So maybe about the same size actually. Okay. And then we need a button data. So that's got to be about as long as a screw itself. So it's got to go all the way through the screw here. So I'm going to hold this white and a little extra on bottom here. Okay. Perfect. There we go. And same thing with the black. Cool. Okay. So there's all my cables that I'm going to need. So we've got data or NeoPixel, NeoPixel strip cables here. We've got power, and then we got button. Okay, let's take a look at our installation. All right, installation's complete. Cool, let's hit next. And this is optional, but this is the way I prefer to do it. I like to connect it to my network here. So currently, I am in Everett, Washington at a makerspace called Snohomish County Makerspace, or Snowco Makers. Let's see, what is our password? There it is. Okay. Try not to say it out loud. Cool. But I'm going to put it on our makerspace network. And it should connect just fine. We'll give it a second. There it is. Okay, so you see where it says visit device? Click that. Now it's on my network. If you do not have like a Wi-Fi setup, don't worry about it. There's other ways to get into it. But since I do, and it's this address here, I'm going to leave this page up like this, and I'm going to get back to it, okay? So let's look at our bench again. Okay, so the chip is programmed now, right? I'm going to take it and unplug it. Okay. Last time we should ever need USB. Okay, on this side, we have 3.3 volts and ground, right? But on this side, this is what we're looking at. VN, ground, D13, D12. So that's what we're going to be soldering to here. Okay, VN, ground, D13, D12. Okay, so I'm going to flip it over, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tin these pins. It's one way to do it here, right? So these pins, instead of being through holes, for some reason those chips are more expensive. So I'll just go and solder directly to the pins. Okay, my soldering iron's warmed up to about 700 degrees. Okay, make sure you got a little bit of solder on your tip here. There we go. And let's see, VN. So I'm going to put a somewhat generous amount of solder on the VN here. The ground. D13. Whoops. Want to bridge it. There we go. And D12. Perfect. Okay. Now that those have solder, we're going to have to strip our cables here. Okay. So I'm going to, about all these, strip about a 1/4 inch off each side, okay, of all the cables. So 1/4 inch, 6 millimeters, depending on what measurement you like. And I might get shorter, some of these, or I don't know. They might be the right length. We'll see. I might be wasting my time on half this. I guess I would like these ones about even. Okay, there we go. Let's get this all tipped up. There you go. You notice that I clip it, right? And I pull a little bit out, and then I twist it off. And that makes really nice, I don't know, really nice cables to work with when they're all twisted at the end like that. Okay. There we go. And then the last two cables, the button cables. Okay. And then the other two sides of the button cables. Perfect. And perfect. Okay. Cool. So I've got everything tinned here, right? Well, I've got the board tinned. I still got to put some solder on these cables. But I'm also going to put some solder on the strip here. So I'll put the strip like this. And then just a little bit of solder on the tip here. There we go. A little bit of heat. And then add some solder to it, right? So very important, iron on, solder to it, solder off, iron off, right? Give it a chance to flow. Makes these nice little, just beautiful looking solder joints here, okay? Also got to grab the button, so let's see if I can do that elegantly while I'm on video here. Okay. Beautiful. And again, very nice, cool. And then the power input, the little barrel plug. There we go. And there we go. Cool. Now these wires, so the blacks need to be twisted together, okay? So here's all the blacks. Okay. There we go. These are for all the grounds. Okay. Twisted together and soldered. Very nice. Same thing with the reds. Twisted together. There we go. And soldered. Cool. All right. Let's get some of them attached to the strip. So let's see, what would be easier? I guess if I ran it through here, it might be easier. So I'm gonna I'll start with the blue. There we go. Blue's the easiest since it stays outside. So a little bit of solder there. Okay. And that's my data in, my DIN. So take that, heat it, let it cool. Perfect. Okay. So I don't know how long I'll need. Well, I kind of do. I need about 60 LEDs here, right? So that's what it's designed for. Even if it doesn't hold all 60, like we'll still put it in program, but this should hold about 60 LEDs at 60 LEDs per meter. So it should hold a meter of LEDs. Okay. But let's get this off the roll. I don't know. I don't feel like counting. So I'll just see, what am I doing? I'm going to put some red on here, red and black. That's right. Okay. So that black one, I'm going to stick through this hole here, right, till it's sticking out here. Same thing with the red. I'm going to stick that out. Make sure it's a tinned one. There we go. Okay. Now if that's sticking out, I'm going to get that soldered here. So we need to get that 5-volt attached. There we go. And we need to get that ground attached. See if we can do this nicely. I could have done it in a different order, maybe. Maybe just soldered all this side and then put them all together in the back. That's okay. This works too. Sweet. Okay. That's looking good. Now I'm going to take this here and stuff it in. Okay. So I got all 3 cables coming through this screw-looking thing, right? Let's start wrapping this now. I'm going to undo or pull off some of this tape cover here. I personally don't have nails, so I require tools to do this. There we go. Okay. So as it started here, I'm going to try to stuff it in as far as possible. Right? Maybe give a little tug back here. And there we go. That's looking good. Okay. So I'm going to start turning this centerpiece. There we go. Okay. Peel a little more blue off. We're going to keep going here. There we go. Okay. And you see how they almost line up? They don't line up perfectly, but they're close. There we go. And as long as they're close, the 2D effects will look really cool on here. And so basically we're going to be making a 5-pixel by 12-pixel matrix. And we can do all sorts of cool little lighting effects with it. All right. There's that. Okay, now it's also got this hole up top. And that's if you're doing like super high dense LEDs. Like if I were to take a 144 LEDs per meter, I might want to also give it power up top through this little hole. But right now, not a big deal. I'm just doing 60 per meter, so I should be able to power it all off the bottom of the strip. I don't need to do a power injection up top. If I did need to do a power injection, I just add power and ground, run them through this thing, and connect it to everything else on bottom. Okay, so now we're getting close to the top here. I think I'll be able to fit that one last LED. Okay, I'm going to chop this off here. There we go. Stick it, and I'll notice that it comes up slightly above this this chamfer here, right? But that's okay. I'll just chop it to being flush, and there we go. All right. So I've got that going here. Next thing is the button. Okay. I got these long black ones and the long white one. So I'm going to run the black all the way through the middle here. Oh. Here we go. Maybe all the way through the middle. Let's see if I can grab it with some tools. There we go. Cool. Okay, sticks out like that. Perfect. Okay. Oh, let's get some solder on it first. Let's tin that. There we go. So everybody can see Tin that. Tin the white cable. Okay. Very good. And let's get some wire connected here. So we'll hook that up here. That's looking good. Same thing over here. Get this connected. Perfect. Oh, once it melts. There you go. That's a good melt. Cool. Okay. Going to run this white wire all the way down. All right. Cool. And then I'm just going to push the button in here. All right. It actually should stay. Like, it shouldn't pop out. But if it does, I can glue it. But for now, it's just there. All right. Not a big deal. So let's look at the bottom here. Okay. We got all these wires sticking out. All right. And we want to keep it somewhat organized. So I'm going to, see, first of all, make sure VN ground 1312, right? So 5 volt first, then ground, then 13, then 12. Pin 13, then pin 12. Right? So I'm going to have it like this. I'm going to grab my, there we go, my screwdriver and my screws. Okay, this is going to take about 91 screws to build. Oh. So you might want to order 100, so when you lose one, it's not like devastating. Okay? So getting this in here might be a little bit tough, a little bit awkward. It doesn't need to be like cinched down hard. It just needs to somewhat hold the chip. There we go. Not much pressure there. Cool. See if I can do that 3 more times. So I've got the screw on here. Get it in there. Get it started by twisting. And then I'll grab the back of the thing, put some pressure on it. There we go. Okay. See if I can do that 2 more times. And this is a Phillips 1. All these screws that I have are anyways. You might get some that are like a hex head or something, but yeah, I got these tiny difficult screws. And oh, yeah, that one's having a hard time going in. See if I can get this one to go in a little further. It's not going that much further. I'll see. If I can just get 2 screws in there, that's fine because it'll still hold it. 3 screws is even better. 4 screws would be great, but not a super big deal. Oh, there we go. That one grabbed. Okay. And then let's get 1 more screw in there. I bet you I can get that one. There we go. Oh. I believed in myself. That's where I went wrong. All right, let's try that again. Oh. Wants to go to the side here. Well, I'll call it go with 3. If you want to finagle the 4th one in, that's fine to do. Okay. So, as you remember, VN, ground, D12, D13, right? So, VN is red. So, I'm going to take my red cable here. Okay. And I'm going to connect it to that first pin down there. And then everything's tin, so it should just melt together really easy. Like, hey, everything's out of the way. There we go. See if we can melt that up. Oh, there you go. That's good. Cool. The tip is a little bit dry, though. So, give it a little bit more of a puddle. Okay, we'll get the black one in there also. Beautiful. Okay. And then I'm going to do NeoPixels next. So, NeoPixel, the blue line, will go to, what is it, 13's the first one? That's 1312. Oh, these two need some solder on them. These two are still not tinned. There we go. Check that out. Oh, and the blue needs to be tinned. And the other side of the red needs to be tinned. All right. So let's get that blue on there. Perfect. And then the white. A little more solder there. There we go. Cool. All right. And then we can tuck these in by pushing them. Well, I guess we still have one more thing to push in. But you see how they stick up from the pins? You can actually take the pins and just bend them. Right? Bend them inwards, bend them outwards, whatever. Just make sure as you're bending they don't touch. And you can bend them a little further than each other too. That way they won't like touch. So I'm going to fan this out just a little bit. There we go. That should be able to get a lot more compact there. Okay. So next thing is the power here. So I'm going to see if I can stick these through. So I don't have to solder it while it's in here. There we go. Cool. Okay. So little ones are power, longer ones are, longer ones are ground, the shorter ones are power. Okay. So heat it up. Let's melt it. Perfect. Okay. See if we can do that one more time with this. There we go. Cool. All right. I'm going to stuff that in here. And then I can grab some glue in a little bit, but I won't worry about it now. Like, you can do that later if you want. I'm going to stuff all these cables in here. There we go. And it stands, it stands. Perfect. Very nice. Okay. Next thing we have to do is mount all these little panels on here, right? So these guys, you know, go up here. This is where most of the screws come in. You've got 6 of these square panels. Each of them have 4 screws. So that's 24 right there, right? So we're going to screw it in just gently, right? Doesn't need to be super tight. Just gentle. And these can be made out of paper. You can cut them on a Cricut or whatever vinyl cutter you have. I use this really thin LED acrylic, and I use a laser to cut these out. But they could be paper, they could be vinyl, they could be a lot of things. It doesn't matter. It just has to diffuse the light. Okay. There we go. And I'm not going to do all these. I'm just going to do one of these panels. And then I'm sure you can figure out the rest from there. Okay. There we go. Kind of cool, right? So you should have, let's see, what is it? 6 times 2, 12 of these semi-pentagon looking ones, and then 6 of these. What did I say? Yeah, 12 of these and 6 of these squares here. Cool. And when you're done, it should look something like, whoa, if I don't throw it around. There's something like this here. Okay. All nice and covered, all nice and screwed in. All right, so if everything works right, I should be able to just set this on top and line it up. The button should pop through, and there we go. Perfect. Okay. Now it's got these 3 screw holes on the top here. Okay, so I'm going to make sure to hit this. There we go. Grab that. Gently screw that in. And I'll do that 2 more times here. Okay. Now, if I were smart, I'd test it first, but I'm pretty confident this will work. If not, this video might go over troubleshooting, but I hope not. Should just work. We'll see. All right. So now we have this egg-looking module, right? So let's go grab a power supply and plug it in. Which I should have had prepared for the video, but that's okay. We got it now. So, if everything goes right, no lights will turn on, but no smoke will come out, right? So, here I go, plugging it in. Okay. I'm going to give it a second here. And then I still have this up, right? What I'm going to do, I'm going to hit config. All right. So, if this doesn't work for you, you're going to have to go to your Wi-Fi and look for WLED-AP. Okay, password is WLED1234. And then sign into the network. And basically you're going to go to the controls and you'll see something that looks like this here. Okay, just this part. Guess we'll turn off PC mode. It should look like this. Okay. Then from there you go to config. Okay. So let's go to LED preferences. First of all, our total LEDs is 60. We'll change that in a second. And I have a 3000 milliamp power supply for this, so I like to put it about 10% back. So maximum current is 2700 milliamp. Okay, that's all on the Thingiverse file. That'll talk about that. Okay, we have WS2812s on length is 60. The GPIO, is 13. Okay. And then we have a button on 12, which is a push button. Perfect. Okay. Let's see if we get any light out of the thing. So let's try to center it here. Oh, center it over there. There we go. I want to hit save. It should turn yellow. Hey, cool. Sweet. Looking good. Okay. So now that we know we're talking, got a bit more setup to do. So under here, under 2D configuration, we're going to do a 2D matrix. Okay. First LED is bottom left. Okay, so that's our first LED. And as you remember from the spiral here, right, it's going horizontally. So keep that horizontal there. Dimensions are 5 wide by 12 tall. There we go. And it should show somewhat of a visual here. Perfect. Okay. Hit save. Okay. Cool. So now we've got this beautiful light that's light up, but it's, I don't know, it's yellow. Let's change that. So I'm going to go back to PC mode because I'm on a PC. If you're not, then you're going to have to switch on bottom between colors and effects and stuff. But PC mode, it spreads it out nicely. Okay. So let's do I don't know, let's find the 2D pattern. So I'm going to hit this or check this button here, which brings up all the 2D, and let's do hyphotic's one of my favorite. Let's go to hyphotic. There you go, hit that. Now I don't see any changes, right? Because it's only one color right now. It's only going through yellow. So what I'm going to do is, here's my color wheel, right? Right now, it's set to one color. I scroll down, I can set it to 2 and 3 colors. But here's all my palettes. So I want to click this. And there we go. Now you can see it changing through palettes right there, right? Let's do C9, which is supposed to emulate like Christmas lights. So hopefully the camera's picking that up a bit. It looks beautiful out here. I see some color changes on the video screen. But we can also just go plain rainbow, right? See it changing in all sorts of colors. So we've got a button on top, right? And it'll boot into something. So what I'm going to do here is, let's see if we can pull, not that one. There we go. We'll pull this down. Something like that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to presets over here. Well, first, let's bring my brightness up. Whoa, there we go. That's a lot of color. Cool. Okay. I'm going to hit plus on my preset. Let's turn off PC mode if we're playing with presets. Okay, plus on my preset here. So I can label it if I want. I can just leave a default. But basically, it's going to save to 1. That's what we want to keep a track of, right? Saves that to 1. I go back to my colors. Let's go to effects and go to solid. Go to colors and just do white. Okay, there we go. Everybody needs a white light here and there, right? Because like what is it? 99% of all lights are just white, right? It's a useful color. It's kind of boring, especially since it can do color, but it's useful. Okay, and then let's go back to presets. Hit plus on our preset. Hit save. Okay. Let's go back to effects. What else should we do? So we got some noise responsive ones, but I don't have a microphone on this. Let's see. We have rain. Let's see what that looks like. There's lots to try out. I'm going to go back to PC mode here. Okay, so it actually looks like little lights falling down. So if I want to change it, right, there's only a couple little lights occasionally. I can increase the intensity, right? So now there's a lot more. Well, there should be a lot more. There we go. There's a lot more little raindrops dropping over here. I can also change the colors. So blue might make sense for raindrops, or I can still use a palette here, right? So some of them are going to be blue, some of them are going to be pink, right? But still, let's look at soap. See how that looks. Huh. A little bit swirl maybe. Not quite enough. Tartan. There's a lot of things to play with here. It's pretty fun. Ooh, sun radiation. I like that one. There we go. So it's this pulsating yellow in the middle with red on top and bottom. Kind of looks like there's a flame in there or something. So I really like that. Okay. Hit plus on my preset. Hit save. So there's 3 presets here. I don't know. I could do a black, like off, but I don't know. I just want it on. I think it'd be fun. So if I just want it on, then no. I'll do an off. So I'll go back to solid here. Hit black. Okay. Now it's off. Boring. That's all right. So let's hit plus on preset. Hit save. Okay. So let's save these. We got a button up top. So I'm going to go to config. First of all, I'm going to start in LED preferences. Okay. Scroll down to our boot. I wanted to apply preset 1, which is the hyphotic, which is the rainbows moving around, right? That's what it's going to do at boot. Do I want that? Maybe I want 4. No, 3. I'll do the sunburst at boot. Okay. Hit save. There we go. Now we go to time and macros. Let's scroll down here, and here's our push buttons, right? Push button 0. So a short push. Let's have it do that hyphotic looking one. So that's 1. A long is 2, so that's white, and a double tap is 4, which is off or solid black, right? So hit save. Okay, let's go back. And let's see what happens when I touch this button. So I'm just going to tap it. There we go. It goes into hyphotic. Beautiful. Double tap. Off. Long press. Pure white. Beautiful. So little tap. Oh, there we go. Is all the colors. Sweet. And then I'm going to unplug it from the wall and plug it back in, and it should boot into that red looking thing. There it is. Okay. So that is how you wire and set up this light. You don't have to use the programs I did, right? There's lots of them to choose from. They all look pretty cool. But yeah, get creative. This is what I like some of the preferences I like. And then, yeah, you have this beautiful lamp. And it doesn't have a base or like a cover on bottom. If you really want me to design one, I can. But I kind of think it's cool to like show people. It'd also be neat, like right now it's like this on your desk. It also looks kind of cool, like this off like your wall. So if you had like 15 of these going down your long dark hallway, it'd be cool too. So I might make an arm or something that holds it. I don't know yet, but yeah, have fun with it. It's beautiful. It's cool. Let's see. There we go. It's got that Yeah, single press. So now it's going through rainbows, which is kind of tough to pick up from the camera. And then let's see, what is it? Double is off, and the long press is white. There we go. Goodness. Cool. Let's put it back into fun. Anyways, yeah, have fun. If you have questions about it, let me know. I can always make more videos. Thanks for watching and good luck.